Greetings, minions. As promised, I'm bringing a D3 video to the channel, and this is the first one. Today, where I'm going to be showing you my Wizzard that I've been playing for, I don't know, about a year or so. I always say I've been playing D3 every day, or else it'd be a lot better. I actually really like this build. And I just want to kind of make a disclaimer about this and any other D3 video I make. The builds I might put up might not be like the standard industry recognized best of the best. And I would encourage anyone who watches these to leave comments about their builds and get a discussion going about the different classes and build up a D3 community on the channel. Obviously, if you feel like adding more than just, oh, your build sucks. I mean, no one said you can't do that, but that's not how you get an honest discussion going about things. And like I said earlier in the previous video, I'm always interested in making my builds better. But let's show you what I got so far. The reason I went with this build that I call the Dominatrix is just because of the gear that has dropped for me since I've been playing this, and it just kept dropping nothing but fire gear for me forever. So I figured I would make a fire sorceress. It started off with this stuff. I got a good portion of the firebrand set. I got a nice little helm that adds Vit and intelligence. I spec'd it for disintegrate, which I'll show you in a minute why. Got the shoulders, which look pretty nice. The only thing I'd probably get rid of off there would be the life. Life is pretty important, but really you need to have a good defense and the ability to regenerate your life. You can get that life on hit. That's much more important because that's what keeps us alive, not a giant life pool that we can't sustain or replenish. Obviously, as you can see, it is working a little bit off the crits. I do have a good bit of crit chance. I'm just going through to show you this stuff really fast. Crit chance and fire damage, and then I've spec'd a little bit of life on hit on some things. The gear that you've seen so far is very basic for just about, it'll work for just about any sorcerer build. Until you get into stuff like the firebrands and Veers. I mean, really, it's just the intent or int and vit stats that every wizard needs. Veers is just something that just started dropping recently for me, so I might consider doing a little more with Archons, which I love the Archon skill a lot. But this is a really nice ring for increasing your survivability. I really like it, and I'm going to be working more with the gem that's in the mortuarium. That staggered damage lets you last a lot longer. This is the first build-specific thing I have on here, and that's the Bane of the Trapped. And like you can read on it, it says it increases damage against enemies under CC. So that's, in a second while I'll show you, this is the first piece. It's not the first piece I got, but I added on there. That's specific to this build. This was the first piece that I got that made me decide to make this build, and that is lesser enemies are now lured to your meteorite impact. So as you can see, with those two things, that gives you a huge damage boost, and why I decided to go with a meteor build. As far as my skills go, I have disintegrate with convergence. I have teleport just to get away from the crazy guys when they go nuts and they're all over the place, or if I really need to run faster. The downside of this build is it does run slowly. I went with meteor obviously because I got that really nice fire staff, but for me personally, I really like the small meteors over the big ones because it just seems to me like I can cast them more and get more of that CC. My main damaging skill is disintegrate anyway, so it doesn't matter. I use storm armor to reduce the cost of all my spells so I can keep spamming meteor. Frost Nova when the meteor doesn't control stuff, so like if you're fighting those rares and elite mobs, you can still CC them by freezing them. An Archon I have on there. As you can see, I put the rune that makes it a fire explosion, and I'm doing fire damage, so it really racks up the damage on Archon. And I'll show you in a little bit what I do with Archon. But it's just there for when you're just really overwhelmed, or if you're fighting a boss and it really knocks them down a lot. Since I'm doing CC, my wizard doesn't really run around a lot, so I do the standing still, unwavering will, to increase up my armor and damage. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I've been playing around with these a little bit, but I really like these a lot. Spamming meteors, I do go through my arcane power quite a bit. So we got astral presence. This confabulation adds more. Anything I can rack up the damage with, critical hit chance, critical damage. And Audacity is obviously another pump out damage. This build is obviously, as you can see, a glass cannon. But I have a lot of fun playing it, and maybe it's something you might enjoy if you ever find yourself getting the gear. Basically, unless you have this, though, it's not even worth worrying about. This whole build is built around this one item right here, and that's the Smoldering Core, which I've actually gotten 2 of them. The first one I got was at level 61 when I was playing through on the campaign, and I really liked it. And I just kept rolling stabs and hunting until I got a better version of it. It's going to take something really impressive for me to change my mind on this wizard build. It'll probably have something to do with fears, though, and a Archon build of some sort. And with all the stats I've stacked up, like you can see, I've got up to 37% crit increase and 237 crit damage. So that's a big hunkin' whopping bit of damage. The resistance in life is a little low, but like I said, unless you can keep replenishing that pool, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000,000 life, you will die. The mobs in this game just do a lot of damage. I'm going to just run through briefly just to show you how it works. Always keep the storm armor up so that you can keep your damage low. Let's get a few mobs here instead of like 2, maybe. Okay, so you just cast mortar, and you just stand there and shoot them. Mortar goes away, you cast it again. You know, that's all you do, is just keep casting mortar. And as you can see, they run to those little red rings, and they don't bother you at all. As long as it's just the white enemies, that is, I guess I should say. If you're fighting the rare ones, they will not go to it. But it is entertaining, and it does keep you alive quite a bit. You know, the increase in damage also works with things like Frost Nova. You know, so you can root them solid, and then just keep doing your Cyclops move. You know, you got X-Men power over here. Disintegrate might not be the best thing to use. It's just how my gear is stacked up. If I get gear, I might look at getting something like Wave of Force or something different. I don't know. I mean, my D3 builds are always subject to change based on the gear that I have. That's just how I play. Personally, I just build whatever I can with the best gear that I get. And since we're running a little slow, you can do teleport. I think the rune I have on teleport stuns them when you land into them. So, I mean, that's kind of neat. But in a situation like this where you have a bunch of guys, you can use Archon. I have with Veers all the runes, so slow time actually counts as a CC effect. So we're getting the extra crazy damage bonus just by doing that. And you can go ahead and just run around and do whatever you want with Archon. It really does wreck them. But that's also partly why I'm considering changing it if I can get a Veers stack. And who knows, like extra Paragon levels might impact how I'm going to play this game in the future. I think I've racked up about 70 hours in this character, something like that. 77, I think was what it said. I haven't looked for a little bit. It's probably more. Yeah, I've been playing this game off and on since it came out, and when I first started playing it, I unfortunately didn't put a lot of time into it because I just really was not that impressed with the game. I was a huge fanboy of D2, and it just really didn't do it for me. But with all the patches that come out in this game, it's really gotten a lot better. So I actually really love playing it now. Unfortunately, as you can see, like I said, those mortars meteors do not affect these guys. Running around like this is a little slow. I mean, there isn't really a lot of run speed here. It's not something like the Demon Hunter or whatever that can just run through here non-stop. So that's partly why I don't really play this one as much as my other classes. But it is a nice build to play. It might be something interesting that you haven't seen yet. There are so many combinations in this game. Granted, some of them probably won't work at higher torment levels. I'm at torment 4 right now. That's actually the highest torment I've ever gotten in this game. I obviously would like to get to torment 10 and be able to do the end of the Great Rift, so I have no idea what the different builds will look like to do that. But yeah, I would really like to get some feedback on this if anybody watches this and thinks it looks neat. It is fun, and Archon is my favorite skill in the game. I just really like it a lot, especially when you have all the runes. It's really fun. Those guys do not like time slow at all. If there was a way to get it infinitely, I might consider that as a build change, personally. I think that would be worth it and quite hilarious, personally. Maybe that's not good, I don't know. I haven't really seen what the full Veer set's like to play with, because I've only gotten 2 pieces of it. I've mostly just collected Firebrand, which is a really good set if you're doing fire damage. And I might even consider only using that, because that's what Firebrands does. What just happened, I died. If you go, I don't know, if 5 minutes or whatever without dying, that skill refreshes, and when you die, a giant meteor comes down and revives you, and if you have enough damage, it'll basically kill anything around you. So that's a really cool spell, especially if I was playing on something like hardcore. Normally, I don't really care that much about it. I mean, maybe that's bad mentality to get into, but I just really don't care if I die on normal. I probably play a lot faster and looser than I should. I'll probably play a lot more conservatively on hardcore if I do that. The reason I haven't played on hardcore much was because for the longest time, the network on Battle.net and stuff just really was not stable enough for me to play. I tried it a little bit and then just kept dying, and it was just super frustrating, so I quit doing it after a while. But I did play it on the Ep.1. I do have Diablo on there, so I'll probably make a couple videos on that platform as well. It was entertaining, and my plans right now anyways, I mean obviously those might change, who knows. We'll see what other games I'm working on, but my plans for the moment are to do hardcore on Season 5, which should be out in another month or so, if I had to guess. Obviously nobody knows for sure when that's going to happen, but it is 2.4 is live on the PTR, and I would imagine they'll probably come up with it about the same time. I would be really surprised if they didn't. You know, they'll probably, once they launch 2.4 on live, will be the same time 5 resets. I think they did that with Season 3, I think it was. I don't know what that is, but we need to get out of that. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. I haven't really played much of the Crusader. I just played it on the Xbox and got all the achievements on that platform. So we'll see how that works out. I'll probably do a few more of those revive spells like that, just so I don't die and lose all my... This would be a teleport instance. Oh, I didn't make it out in time. But I'll probably do something like... So, like, you know, if I was playing on hardcore, I would have lost this character. So I'll probably have something like a you don't die type deal. We're going to run away a bit and get some health, because this isn't good. There's a lot of guys there. But that's why, like I said, you're going to need some of that...
Still waiting.
If I can get the Archon up. Archon is really amazing, and it lets you survive stuff that you really have no business surviving. Like stuff like that. I'm probably playing on too high of a difficulty. I just got to Torment 4 not too long ago. I can play Torment 3 without even having my health move, though, so that's why I moved up to it. We got a couple interesting things. I'm probably only going to see what this wand is, though, because I think my shoulders or firebrands are pretty good. I'm not getting rid of those anytime soon. Yeah, that's nothing too special. But, yeah, that's this build. You know, if that's something that looks interesting to you with the CC and the really nice fire crit damage, I would go ahead and check it out. You know, obviously, if you play around with it and you have some better thoughts, shoot me a message or leave a comment. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like this video, and check out some more of my videos that will be coming out on D3 and a few other games. I just got Fallout 4 in the mail, so that one's probably coming up soon. But you guys have a good one, and thanks for stopping by.